Well, budgettravelerchris.com welcomes you back to the big shop in Sooke, where we're working on the RV. And unfortunately, we got muscled out of that big, beautiful shop there by a 25-ton rock truck. And it looks like this here. This here is a rock truck. And they pick up rocks for building roads, because that's what they do here. They build roads. There's a little mini there. Don't get much smaller than that. Well, they do have smaller ones, but that's probably the smallest one you'll see around here. And we're here driving out the Dakota to the new and improved RV here, which has got its spare tire now. We've got a spare tire for it. Very, very nice spare tire. We'll take a nice close look at it, because it is like brand new. Look at the tread depth on that. That is about as brand new of a tire as it gets. So there you go. There's a brand new spare tire on the RV. It's almost ready for sale. We're a little behind because the weather here is not cooperating. It's been raining like crazy. Today is actually a day where they say it's supposed to be not raining. But if you look in the pond here, you can see the rain on the pond pretty good. The pond shows the rain. So what we're doing here to the RV here today is we are checking coils, because the coil might be the reason why this thing starts up or runs great for about 10 minutes and then just suddenly dies, even on a high idle. And there's the coil right here. You see me pointing to it. There's the coil wire. So what we're going to do is take that coil off of there and put one of these two coils on. So we've tested these coils and they've tested out good. The way you test them is you connect a lead to one negative and one positive, just like this. You put one lead to there, one lead to there. Hard to film and do this at the same time. And then what you're looking for is, we're looking for about 1500 ohms to 2000 ohms. So that's what we're looking for. So you can see here now, we got 1.6. 1.6, so that's 1600 ohms. That's good. And for the other test, from a primary to a secondary, we're looking for about 15 to 20,000 ohms. That's 15.75 kilo ohms. So there we go. So that one's testing good. Alrighty. So we know we have two good coils now that we can use to replace that other coil. And here's the spare ECM, which is electronic control module. We've got this ECM working now at the factory Motorcraft, and it's very important to ground them. You can see we have a ground wire here, so you've got to make sure you ground them. So that is a good used Motorcraft ignition module, and it is grounded directly to the battery here, so we know it's got a good ground. So let's start up this bad boy now, and actually let's see if Jim's on the phone. Hey Jim, are you on the phone there? Jim's been dealing with about 4 other customers while I've been waiting on hold. He's a busy parts guy. When you find a good parts guy, you'll find that they're often busy. Are you there, Jim? Hello, Jim, are you there?
Lordco Parts, Jim speaking.
Hey, Jim, it's Chris. How are you?
Sure, hang on one second, please.
Oh, so I thought I had Jim, but Jim's a busy guy at Lordco. So you've seen the coils get hot and then just die, have you, Jim?
They can do that, you betcha.
Yeah, I've never seen one before, but Mitch has seen one.
Yeah, is it like a canister type, like an old traditional one, or is it like the square boxy one?
Yeah, it's a round canister type, and it's got a number on it, 016, if that means anything.
Yeah, just a standard coil, because there's two available that you can get in that year. I do show it on the shelf, $59.99.
And does it have a 016 on it?
No, my part number is an E71, so it's...
Because I've got two here, and they both have 016, and they say that it's for breakerless ignition with external resistor. Does yours say that as well?
We just use the external balance, yeah.
It does use an external resistor then, eh?
Yeah.
The Ford. Yeah, I just didn't see one.
What should be in there for stock? Well, you should have it on the firewall. Should be the old ceramic balance resistor somewhere.
Alrighty. Well, thanks, Jim. And you got that in stock then, do you?
Got them here. Got them in Langford. Got them in Sydney. You bet.
Okay, and they're $59 my cost, or is that retail?
That's just regular. Here, let me get into an account here for you real quick. $47.99 your cost.
Alrighty. Okay. Well, thanks a lot, Jim.
Not a problem, bud.
Okay. Talk to you soon.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
See you, Chris. Bye.
Alrighty. So there's Jim at the Burnside Lordco, and you can get these coils here for $47 plus tax. So nearly $60 by the time you get one of these. So we got two of them here. Alrighty, well here we are inside the RV, and there's a good look at the engine there. She's pretty nice and brand new engine there. So this is how it starts up. Press the pedal once to the floor, turn the key. Check the charging system. So we'll check the voltage regulator now. Make sure the voltage regulator is working good. There we go. We'll get her to stay there. That voltage regulator showing 16 volts, and that's with the brand new regulator. Brand new regulator, and we're getting 17 volts. So I think what we'll do, that's with no load, no lights on. We'll go turn on lights on and see what it is. So we've got the headlights on now, and we'll check the voltage. And the voltage is like 19 volts, so just overcharging here. And there's a perfect example of how this vehicle engine just dies all of a sudden, and I believe it's because the coil gets hot or warm. So we're going to change the coil out and see if it fixes that problem now. Alrighty, so we're going to show you how we swap out the coil here on a 5.8 liter V8, which is a Ford 351 Windsor. So you undo the top screw here on the air cleaner, and you pull it up, and you lift this up and out of the way. So this is just up out of your way just a little bit. It can just stay up and out of your way. Then you pull the wiring harness off. Well, you can actually take the coil wire off the coil first. Just grab it by the base and pull it, move it away. And then you can lift up this harness here. It just slides right up here like this. So take the wiring harness off the coil like that. And just put it aside here, out of your way. And then the coil here, you'll see, is just held in by one bolt here. Alright, so we've got the bolt, the one bolt that holds this end down. See the one bolt there? It's a 9/16 head, so just get a 9/16 socket. Take that out, and you can see it's a pretty rough looking coil. I wouldn't doubt if it's the original coil from, 1984, because even though the contacts are good, and we've cleaned them and got the contacts nice and clean and everything, what's happening is we're having an intermittent open circuit when it gets hot. The circuit's just opening up. So we're going to install this one here. Is looking much nicer, and we've cleaned it really nice, so we'll install that one now. Alrighty, so we put the new coil in here now. There's the new coil installed and the wires on it. Now we have to put the wiring harness on it. The wiring harness just goes on like this, and you'll hear it click into place. And then this wire here, you just tuck it down there, and then just kind of pull this air cleaner back over into place. Alrighty, so then you get the air cleaner into its proper spot there, and then you gotta try to find that center hole. Now, it's a bit tricky sometimes. Kind of gotta feel it. There you go. And once you feel it, it falls into place. So there it is, all back together. Now all we have to do is put on the nut. And first you put the washer on, and the little washer there. Pretty long reach in there, but then you put the wing nut on, and that holds the air cleaner on there. And there we go. Now we're ready to do a test to see if she runs with the new coil in there. Well, the engine didn't start with the new coil installed that was tested to be good, so we're going to take all 3 coils to Brian Roberts Auto Electrical, where they have an old machine from the 30s that gets them nice and hot and does a good load test on them. And we also get them to test the alternator here that I've got to take out, and test the 3 voltage regulators to make sure that it's all good for the new owner. So stay tuned to see what happens.